violence, but to show the world that the Egyptian government is weak, to dissociate the Copts from supporting the government. And I think they may be succeeding in that. Some demonstration against the government. The people are responding by siding with the Copts. We have seen, especially with the little girl who died. And if you see the emotional portrayal, the school, they are missing their colleague, what happened. And it reminds you of the same thing that happened also in the early 90s when there was an assassination attempt on the Prime Minister Sadek. And it killed a school girl, and there was a lot of emotional mobilization against terrorism in the country. I think this is also similar, being mobilized. The Copts and the Muslims understand very well, especially among the wise men, that this was the aim of the planners. They wanted you to hit each other, but they didn't fall into that trap. But at the same time, the Egyptian security needs a lot of modernization. We cannot let terrorists be more advanced in training and weapons than the police. I wish we have cameras. I cannot expect the police to be everywhere, but you compensate for your absence with advanced security system. You know, churches, main squares, CCTV cameras should be placed and underground.
Very important,
it can also help against sexual harassment. It can help against car stealing, that is also becoming problematic, but is now declining. So all these things are very important.
So we move from Al-Akhbar to Al-Ahram newspaper, where we read a committee headed by Al-Biblawi to follow the development of Tahrir Square. Dr. Hazmi Al-Biblawi met with the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister actually met with Dr. Jalal Saeed, the governor of Cairo, to discuss a number of files related to the development work in Cairo Governorate. How do you read this, and how do you read the performance of the government regarding the basic issues in Egypt?
Yesterday I visited Tahrir, and the traffic was excellent. I felt it could be a trap, you know. I'm not used to that.
It could be, actually.
You know, but it was really very good. Traffic was, you know, fluid, not like
the usual
the nightmare that we are used to. You know, Tahrir is a symbol, the iconic symbol of the revolution, and that's why I find a lot of groups want to dominate it, and that's why the Muslim Brotherhood who had abandoned Tahrir long ago when they came to power, and they forgot it and they didn't care about it. Now they want to go back.
Indeed.
Now, if the government, you know, has a good plan to revitalize it and make it a big touristic attraction, you can get a lot of tourists to Egypt. It will be one of the pyramids of Egypt, a new pyramid. In fact, the tourism sector in many countries can depend on some of the historical squares and areas you can visit and see what happened. You can have panorama at night, for example, like sound and light show in some park to show, and I hope they develop it properly.
So we are still in Al-Ahram, 50 committee stormy session for the first closed-door meeting to discuss the constitutional draft, the withdrawal of the members of the committee of experts, and the Rashwan angry because of confinement in opinion cases. How do you see this disagreement in the constitutional drafting committee?
It's normal.
Normal, of course.
I mean, you know, what we had in 2012, the constitution, what was the problem is that the Egyptian revolution, its slogans were no to a military rule, no to a theocratic rule. The Muslim Brotherhood guided the whole process to create an Ikhwani constitution. And that's why people rebelled against it. And it produced a very unstable political system that ended with the expulsion of Morsi and the Shura Council and his constitution, which by the way failed in Cairo. I mean, in voting Cairo did not vote for Morsi. Cairo did not vote for his constitution. It failed.
During the referendum.
So in in developing countries, you must control 3 elements: the capital, mass media, and security. You don't have the 3 elements, you are losing, and you will lose. And this is, I think, Morsi learned the hard way, this important lesson. So the constitution, if it is done properly and takes into consideration human rights and mechanism to defend human rights, because why we had revolution in 2011? Because of the wretched record of the Egyptian state when it comes to human rights. And so if we follow what happened, for example, in East Europe, in Russia, after the fall of communism, they went after international conventions on human rights and integrated them into their own constitution. And so Egypt should do the same. And I think, I believe that 2013 constitution will be much better than 2012, but it cannot reach the level of the revolutionary expectations, because you have also status quo pressures. They have in mind what are you going to do regarding Article 54 that would abolish parties on basis of religion. I hope it is progressive. If they do it, this would be a real progress.
Brotherhood students continue their violent clashes in Mansoura and protests in Al-Azhar, Cairo, Ain Shams, and Helwan universities. How do you read this continuous protests that are taking place in the different governorates, which are related, of course, to the universities?
The Muslim Brotherhood believes that if they suspend all their activities in the street, there will be internal explosion inside the organization. They would also be dismissed by the outside powers who may be sympathetic or supporting them. So they feel that by creating chaos, they can attract media attention. If you have a big demonstration, this is a rule. If you have a big demonstration, you don't need violence. If you have a small demonstration, you need violence to attract media. The biggest university in Egypt is what? Al-Azhar University, over 330,000 students. How many are demonstrating or belong to the Muslim Brotherhood? If you look at all photos and TV coverage in any channel you can choose if you like, you will not get 4,000 to 5,000 out of 330,000. What do they want? They want now, even a few days ago, they tried to enter the Faculty of Engineering and expel the students. It is the right of students to demonstrate, and we want them to demonstrate and be politically active. But they have to demonstrate peacefully and inside the campus, not outside the campus. You don't go and block the roads. You do not go and attack your colleagues who do not want to participate. You do not go and spoil the education process. You do not go enter into the lecture hall and expel the professors and expel the students and disrupt normal education. The management, the administration in those universities must take very strict action against violators of human rights, because it is the right to demonstrate, but it is not the right to
in a proper way.
To force others to demonstrate or to disrupt the education process or prevent anybody from studying.
And sir, finally, also from Al-Ahram, we read Cairo trains function for the first time after 68 days, and this is partially.
This is a sign of return to normalcy, and if you combine this item of news with the declaration that by 14th of November, emergency state will be lifted, these are good signs. It would be taking outside that Egypt is returning back to normal. But as you know, it is easy for terrorists to shoot targets, not a difficult target.
Dr. Saeed Sadek, the professor of political sociology, it's always a pleasure to have you with us, and have a pleasant day. And we'll get back to you, our dear viewers, after this break.